Now, this is interesting territory. Russia is deliberately playing with World War III by sending drones into Poland. Now, you can argue, hey, maybe this was a mistake. 19 violations of an airspace is not a mistake. This is clearly them testing the waters and probing Poland, seeing, okay, where does Article 5 actually get triggered? Now, is this an event that should trigger Article 5? In my opinion, no. And what's really annoying is there are plenty of people out here who are saying Russia doesn't have imperialist goals. The only reason they attacked Ukraine is because of NATO, which makes no sense because NATO expanded after they did this because they're worried about what is happening right now. And if you're not in a defensive alliance, you might be attacked by countries like Russia. And right now, those secondary sanctions look pretty interesting. Unfortunately, Donald Trump will probably say, hey, I like Vladimir Putin. I'll give him another 2 weeks to cause chaos in Europe. He wants peace. And what we've learned through history, appeasement does not work with dictators. They only understand force. And in my mind, I think this is kind of an act of desperation from the Russians because the Ukrainians are starting to target oil and gas infrastructure deep inside of Russia. And they're already starting to see prices spike and gas lines starting to line up. And they're starting to see shortages of gas. And the Russian economy is already dealing with bad inflation. And it's going to continue to get worse as these gas lines continue to get worse. And to me, it seems like Russia's like, well, now's the time to test and see what Article 5 actually means. And Poland has actually kept up with their NATO commitments. So what's the US's response to this? It can't be, I'm going to give Vladimir Putin another 2 weeks to figure out what he wants to do from here. But under Donald Trump, he's just going to be reactive because apparently he doesn't want to anger Vladimir Putin for some reason. Because if there's no response from this, NATO's a paper tiger. Article 5 doesn't mean anything. I can't stress enough how big a deal this is. And the whole world is watching to see how the United States and the rest of NATO responds to this. Because if history just holds true and you continue to appease Vladimir Putin, he's going to test the fences again. Because why wouldn't he? And at this point, Europe has to step up for its own security because the United States isn't coming to save you. We're just going to repeat what happened in World War II. We're going to be like, oh, we don't want to get involved. We're just going to stay neutral. Eventually, this will drag the United States into it, whether we like it or not.